lot of folks come to Alaska, they say, how can you live in this cold country? Truth of the business is, it isn't cold all the time. We have summertime, too, as everybody who lives up here knows. And some summers we have some really nice weather. It turns green in Alaska. I've been all the way to the last foot on the North American continent, up north, in the Prudhoe Bay area. Snow and the ice was melted, and grass growing and other little things growing around there. And I'll tell you what you can find. Nearly anywhere in the world there was dandelions growing up there in the summertime. I've never been any place in the world that there wasn't dandelions growing. But we have a good time in the summer. And I need to say this, from the time I first hit Alaska, I looked at the magnitude of it, I looked at the wildness of it, I looked at the beauty of it. And my wife wasn't up here yet, but I wrote her a letter and I said, Alaska, it's going to be our home from now on. It's a beautiful, wonderful country. And it is. There's another thing I have liked about Alaska, and that's the wildness out there. Not many places left on this North American continent where you can go and just maybe that nobody else has ever been there before. And where you can go out in a place, out on a big lake, nice big lake where there's good fishing, and spend 3 or 4 days out there and never see another human being except the fellows who went with you. There are remote areas in Alaska that are total wilderness, just like they were 100 years ago, or maybe 500 years ago. Untouched, unsoiled, just out there. And when you get out there in a place like that, you can feel the closeness to God. You go out there by yourself. I know down through the years in my ministry, I worked 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. I was always on duty. And I'd get it up to my eyes, and go out and get my little airplane and fly out to my cabin on the lake just by myself and spend a half a day and then the night and buy an old Coleman lantern. I would read, have a pot of coffee on my little old cooking range and just read and be quiet and relax and commune and meditate. And I've gone out in my little old airplane and flying all by myself, and it relaxed me. And some of the best praying I've ever done, best praising of God I've ever done in my life, was just flying that little airplane around by myself and thanking God and saying Solomon and all of his glory never had a ride in one of these with all of his wealth. He never had anything like this. Wonder what he'd have thought if he could have flown around like I'm flying around. It's just an exhilarating experience sometimes just to be alone. And yet there's places like that. There's millions of acres like that in Alaska, all over the country. And I've had a great time. Took my boys out, taught them how to fly, taught them how to shoot, taught them how to fish, taught them how to survive out in the wilderness. It was a wonderful experience for them, I'm sure they'll never forget it. Well, it's been good to be up here.